Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Hey, this video is about the difference, more about the difference between the temple and the street, as I like to put it. Temple work, to me, is where you're working on something in an environment where the context is really simplified and the unpredictability is taken out of the situation as much as you can. This is why when you go to, say, a Zen meditation temple, you know when breakfast, lunch, and dinner is. You don't have to think about that. The floors are clean, the room is swept, you sit down, you're able to focus on just what that temple is dedicated to. It's not unpredictable, it's not chaotic, it's not crazy. The street, on the other hand, which is just my metaphor for the world, is unpredictable. The context is much more chaotic and unpredictable, and you don't know what's going to happen next. So we try to have an interplay, a conversation between our temple work and then our life being in the street. So for instance, if you're doing pushing hands or martial arts, form practice, martial training practice together, doing drills and stuff, it's not as sort of temple-y as solo work. Like if you're in a pushing hand situation and you're working on balance and you're pushing someone else and they're pushing you and you're working different angles in here and you're trying to keep your balance while they're trying to offset your balance, the situation's changing constantly and it's very unpredictable. You don't know what that person's kind of going to do next. So it's pretty difficult to fix or work on a particular aspect of your body alignment, let's say, while you're doing that, because it's happening so quickly. It's kind of like if something's wrong with your car, you don't fix it while it's driving. You take it off the street, you take it to the temple of the garage, you lift it up, and you can examine stuff and you can fix stuff, and then you can put it back into play. So a simple exercise that we do is called the spring. If I show you a side view, let's say my front foot is pointing virtual north. My left foot or my back foot is pointing out at about maybe 60 degrees, maybe 10 o'clock, or kind of over towards the northwest a little bit. So I want to stay over this knee, right? So I work on slowly sinking and turning towards the north so that all my weight's back here, this is empty, and then I straighten my leg again. So all my leg is doing is bending and straightening. But from the ball of my femur here up, that's revolving. My hip socket is revolving around that ball so that I turn my hips and turn my waist to face this way. So there's no weight here at all. So then I can come back again. So I want to make that transition between up and down as smooth and even as I can. And I'm also coordinating two different things. A small leg movement with a larger waist movement, and I want them to arrive at the same time. So I'm sitting into that position there. This being open like that, right? So that's temple work, right? It's predictable. Flat floor, just turning, rising, and back again. Right? So it comes up again and again in the form, right here. Right here. There's a million places in the form where you do that kind of movement, right? So the form is slow enough that I can pay attention to that while I do that. So that's why it's temple work. But the spring, working on that exercise called the spring, is even more temple work because I don't even have the unpredictability of weight shifts back and forth or the form changing from movement to movement. I'm just doing it in place. Sink and turn. Rise and turn. So I work on that, then I take it out onto the road a little bit, and I work on that in a little bit more motion, and then when someone's pushing on me and it's unpredictable, that I'm still working on it, but I'm not working on it as slow and consciously because I'm on the highway. You know, things are happening. I can't settle down into that movement, right? So if you see it that way, you will honor and you will be into your solo form practice as much as you're into your more interactive drills, as much as you're interested in even more unpredictable things like daily life or like sparring or like actual fighting. You'll honor both sides because there are things that you can only work on when you're driving. your handling and the way the car moves and stuff. There's things you can only work on when you're sparring, and only work on when you're actually in a fight, or that you can only work on in daily life where things are unpredictable. But there are things that you can only work on when you clear away all that unpredictability and chaos and just work on it in the temple. I cannot do this in daily life. Not this slow, not this even. I might be walking along a turn in daily life and just work on it on the hoof, so to speak, but not in the same way as if I do this. So this is all to say all this work is important. The temple work is important. Being in daily life or being in less predictable environments also really important. Sometimes people get into one at the expense of the other. They're totally into temple work and they kid themselves that this will work on the street. They're into nothing but street work and they kid themselves that they're going to be just as healthy as if they worked on those forms and really examine those things. So to me, they're both really valuable and both really great arenas to learn about balance and the dynamic conversation between hard and soft, and which is Tai Chi. So just an encouragement to not neglect your temple work, but also don't neglect your less predictable, more chaotic street work, as it were. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to my channel or visit Burnett.com. I should have mentioned music.
Well, that was my thought.
Oh, let's mention it anyway.
Well, wait a minute. Let me give you my thought. My thought is that I come. This is practice. This is my temple here.
It's your temple to come and practice the
and
flute.
then out in the street is jamming with whoever comes along,
exactly.
or even an organized jam.
Exactly. Just
and,
for the, I forgot. Yeah.
I can't. I
John
can't
is
take what I
saying
learned
this wrong.
here to there, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't do enough of that.
There's
in the
things
street.
you can
I
only
too much
do
at home.
jamming with other musicians. That nothing else will teach you but that. But there's things that you can only do by yourself, running through those scales, running through those notes and doing that stuff. Sometimes you're playing over there and I can hear that you're drilling something, and the student I'm with will go like, oh man, he's not very good. And I'm like, he's practicing, he's drills, he's not playing songs. That's not a song.
Who said that, man? I'll kick your ass.
He's drilling something. He's actually really good, you know. So that's another thing. Playing at home, running through the notes carefully, figuring out the ins and outs and ups and downs of the song, that's temple work. Performing, really playing the song with feeling, that's your street work in a sense.
Yeah.
And honor both. Don't downplay practice by yourself, but don't downplay jamming with other people and playing in the world.
But
that's awesome.
Jamming
too.
with other people is so rare for me that when I do it, I can feel the lack.
Can you turn that thing on?
I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know how.
Anyways,
I'd have to answer.
this applies to music for sure. All right.
Sorry.
Thanks for watching.
Was it still going?
Yeah, I kept it.